Hey guys, what's going on? Sadiq. Welcome to Experiences with Sadiq. Experiences with Sadiq is about all things real estate. A show where communication is key, advocating for the people's bliss, and knowledge, it's inspiring. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the show. And oh yeah, don't forget to follow me on all my social media platforms. Whether you're buying or selling a home, I'm that guy. Let's go. What's going on, guys? It's your man Sadiq. Welcome to Experiences with Sadiq, where communication is key, advocating for the people's bliss, and knowledge is inspiring. Today, I'm going to interview the man himself, Jonathan Depina from Total Mortgage. Jonathan, how are you today?
Great, amazing, man.
Nice.
Beautiful day.
Nice. I'm glad to
have you here.
Hey, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. You guys do big things in the market, so I really wanted to have the opportunity to sit down and talk to the man himself. How would you define your role with Total Mortgage?
I would say my role is pretty much pushing the brand, helping people understand what we do on a day in, day out.
Nice.
I always say working with the Total Mortgage and being under the Depina team is bigger than mortgages. We're trying to build relationships. We're trying to see families grow. We're trying to help communities. It's just a passion that I have, and I've always had this passion. And I like to work with likable minds, like people that have the same vision, just like you. I see what you're doing on a day in, day out. I see how you're trying to help people grow. People that don't have the vision of taking it to the next level, building that legacy wealth or building the equity in their properties and maybe growing their families. It's just the passion that we have here, and we try to at the end of the day, we want to make sure that when you do business with us, we satisfy all your needs, and it comes out that we take it to the next level.
Nice. Where are you from, John? Are you local?
I'm actually from the smallest city in the around. So it's Central Falls, born and raised. Been there, I was there for about 24 years of my life, and then I moved up to Cranston, and then now I'm at Warwick.
Man, all right, so you're local to the state of Rhode Island, the small state with the biggest heart.
Correct.
So that means, when it comes to a state like us, we're individuals who have that big heart, who believe in ourselves, wherever the heart guides us is where we follow, for the most part. What drove you to becoming a lender? So,
growing up, we didn't have Instagram, social media, Facebook that much, so we didn't know how to get into real estate. We had no clue, no mentors. We had to take the chance. And day in and day out, I had the passion of real estate. I remember as a little kid driving through, not even as a little kid, probably when I first got my license, driving around Lincoln, looking at the big houses, and just going to the east side where the boulevard is, and seeing those big houses, and just imagining, seeing like, how can I get there? How can I build myself to own more property? I seen the how beautiful real estate was, and it was just at that moment as a kid, I just said, you know what, that's what I want to do. Nice. And I got into the mortgage industry. I was in my third year in college. It was the summer. It was when the market was crazy. It was probably 2006, 2007, and the market was crazy. And I went into the mortgage industry. It was summer break. I said, well, let me just do a little bit of mortgages and see what happens. And it just got a passion. I seen how I was helping people. I was seeing how I was able to connect. I seen the dreams I had when I was 16 years old, driving around these houses, how I could attain those dreams and how I could reach those dreams. And I just kept focusing on real estate, and in every way, there was a little bit of a detour when the crash came. But when I saw that crash, I saw opportunity. I seen a lot of properties going to where they were going for $400,000 in Central, $450,000 for a 3-family in Central Falls, and then the market changed, and I seen that was my opportunity, and I didn't hold back. I went in there and I went full force. Partnered up with some great like-minded people, and we worked together, and we just kept growing and learning off mistakes after mistakes after mistakes, wrong partnerships, all of that stuff. And I remember buying my first property, and my partner was like, and he was in the real estate industry for a while. He's like, and I was nervous, and he said to me, "You see all the Jordans you have? I'm gonna make this feel like you're buying another pair of sneakers." That's how easy it's gonna be, and it's crazy what it still sticks to me to this day, and it's crazy because it feels like that. People got a lot of fear because it's a big purchase, but once you do it the right way and you have the right team, the right supporting people around you, it's like buying another pair of sneakers.
It's crazy because when I first, 3.5 years ago, I was supposed to start the real estate industry. So I do understand, like, in terms of the driving force to get to where you're at today. Because 3.5 years ago, I had my son, and I was literally in the process of getting my real estate license. I was done with the classes. I was ready to take the test, and my son was born. And I used to work in the automotive industry, and the GSM at the time contacted me, was like, "Sadiq, I know you just had your kid. You're in the hospital, boom, by the bang. Do you mind come doing finance with us?" And mind you, I already had this vision 3 years ago. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I will. And I totally forgot about the real estate game. Because to me it was an opportunity to go into finance versus doing real estate. But as I fast forward 3 years later, I decided to get my real estate license again.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think about it, I was like, maybe 3 years ago wasn't the right time for me.
Yeah.
Around that time, But now, based on what I'm doing, what I'm seeing, and what I'm finally starting to realize, what my purpose is here is basically being able to build value to the people,
That's exactly what
and I
it
think
comes down to.
that's exactly what it comes down to. And I didn't really understand the notion of building value. Matter of fact, I really didn't understand what my true purpose was,
Yep.
And then, like, after a while, this year itself gave me clarity in terms of what my true purpose was. And, like, I really didn't have a mentor, or I really didn't have anybody to teach you, but you had somebody to guide you. And I think that's a very important aspect, to be able to have someone who could actually guide you and show you the ropes in regards to how to actually succeed, And with me, my success is coming from me going through trials and error and having the right people around me. Now I can actually go to these people and ask them for their perception on what, how I'm doing, whatever the case may be. But I wanted to ask you, John, though, right, for those, right, who are looking to purchase a home, their first property and all that crazy stuff, how should they go about purchasing after their first property? How should that first time home buyer go about purchasing future properties?
So it's a game plan I have with all my clients, and I kind of go through, figure out what their needs are first, figure out what their goals are, and then if they decide that their goal is to build wealth in the real estate industry, meaning owning more than one property, they got that 3.5%, that first time home buyer, one time to be able to purchase that 1.4 unit for 3.5% down, or that 1.3 unit with 3.5% down, or 0% down. Make sure you choose wisely. Don't try to shop for the lowest 3-family you could find. Make that 3-family your trophy home.
Interesting.
That house that you could keep for the next 10 years. You're never gonna have an opportunity to put down 3% to 0% down on an investment property that's gonna build you wealth in the future. That's how you create legacy wealth. That 3-family is the start. So that's your foundation. So make sure that one is the trophy home, and then build from that one.
Interesting.
Because if you fail on the first one, it's gonna be hard to get the second one. So you have to have the right guidance. Don't go look for I see a 3-family for $200,000 over here, and you can't even see yourself living in that 3-family for more than 10 years. Why are you gonna rent something that you can't see yourself living there?
Deep.
So you got to think like that, because real estate is a passion. Real estate is something that just keeps growing.
Yeah.
And if you're going to get into it, make sure you have a passion and make sure you can see yourself owning something for 10 years.
So is it about the price, or is it more so about the comfort of being able to generate revenue off that like, I guess I'm trying to understand why that 3-family is very important versus a 2-family.
So if you look at it, if you purchase that 3-family,
Yeah.
now you live in the first floor for about a year,
Yeah.
or second floor, whatever floor you decide to live in it. You know that area is somewhere where you know that there's going to be growth in that area. You're not buying a house that's in like a busy street, bad neighborhood, or whatever. You're buying something that, or it could be a bad neighborhood, but you see it developing. You see a couple of trends going around, just like what Starbucks do. Starbucks, when they purchase their properties, they do an extensive marketing campaign to see exactly where they should buy, and that's where you come in and guide the buyer. This is a great location. Yes, the price tag is this, but if you rent, the rents are here. So when you buy a better house, you're gonna get better rents. And nowadays, you get $1,200 a floor, and your mortgage payment's $2,400.
600.
So yeah, $3,600.
That number add up quick.
Yeah, and now you thinking about this. Think about this. You buy something like that, your first property. Now all of a sudden you get rid of PMI. You're in a certain better situation with the property. Your mortgage payment is probably $2,100, but you're getting $3,600. So that's $1,500 that could go on to your second property.
Yeah.
So you're using that. You're balancing your portfolio when it comes to real estate when you purchase that prime trophy 3-family investment property. Because at the end of the day, it's an investment property, but I'm going to live here for a year, and then I'm going to try to go buy either my 3 or my 2-family again, doing the same method.
Nice.
Now I could break down a situation what I did. So my first property I purchased was in Pawtucket, right? It was on Harrison Street. It was a so-so neighborhood. I purchased it with 3.5% down. I did it that route, right? So that was a 3-family. Then I purchased a 2-family. When I got into real estate, there was no mentors. There was no one telling me that you shouldn't buy the cheapest house in Pawtucket at that time. I'm not going to tell you the price. It was, you guys won't even believe it. But that's what I did. I went and bought the cheapest house. Then I bought a house in Cranston, over there in the Pawtucket Village area, a nice 2-family.
Nice area.
I did it up, did it real nice up, did some nice renovations, and what I noticed over the years, the growth, right? So you got that 3-family in Pawtucket, probably appraised. Say if I bought it for $100,000, it's probably worth $300,000, right? I bought that 2-family, that trophy home, at the right location, with the right mindset. I bought it for $200,000. Now it's worth $500,000. You see the difference, and now look at that. So I sold that 3-family in Pawtucket. Still have that 2-family. That 2-family helped me buy other properties, and also gave me an income. So the first floor rents for $2,100. The second floor rents for $2,500. So what do we got there?
Was it 5, 6, not 2, 4, 4,900? Just about.
I'm trying to test it.
Listen, I gotta calculate. Listen, I'm not good with math, but I gotta calculate that in my head. So the numbers
we're
make
at
sense.
about $4,600. The mortgage payment's only $1,900 there.
Woo!
So
She's winning.
that leverages to grow.
Yeah.
You can't have that mindset where you're gonna buy the first property and there's no return.
That's crazy.
You gotta make sure that the numbers make sense.
Yeah.
Because whatever you purchase, if the numbers don't make sense, you're gonna fail.
True. It's all about the bottom line. And I think that's what most people need to understand, that whenever purchasing a property, because I'm not an investor myself yet. Right now I'm trying to build value and helping other people get
Correct.
into a position of the level of position that they want to get into. But I do plan on investing myself, hopefully starting next year, because obviously it's going to give me the tool that I need to be able to, because I'm big on generational wealth and all that crazy stuff. So like I really want to focus on that. I want to be able to build generational wealth, leave things behind for my kids, and just understand the investment aspect on a deeper level. You know, because I believe that as you're working with other investors and stuff like that, you want to be able to rub shoulders with them because you want to be able to talk the lingo. You want to be able to understand everything that's going on. Nobody's trying to do anything shady. You know,
you might not be an investor, but you got the investor mindset.
Oh, 100%.
And that's all you have to do, because that's how you're going to help your clients grow.
100%, 100%.
You're waiting there. You're waiting to get the right moment, and then once the right moment comes, you're going to make that. There you go.
No, definitely
That's
true.
Exactly.
Well, with the rental property, right? So when people buy multifamily homes, right, they always look at, obviously, it goes back to what you were saying, like, and it comes down to a bottom line, right? Mm-hmm. But typically, multifamily homes, you'll have like 2-unit, 3-unit, 4-unit, so forth. Now, how would someone define, are you looking at a bottom line number, or are you looking at what you could generate per door?
So,
if that makes sense.
When I buy an investment property, I look at what I could generate per door, of course. Mm-hmm. You want to look at it because you don't want to underestimate the numbers. You got to break them down. And there's going to be some hidden costs that you're never going to know about. Water, sewer, which we do. Yeah. But you never know if you're going to have to repair a boiler, a new roof, or any expenses. You might have and sometimes you don't get the perfect tenant. And you kind of get yourself in a tough situation. So you want to be able to know that you got the reserves, you got the capability of holding down the property, and you want to make sure that on a daily, monthly payments, you're putting money aside. Yeah. Especially on your first investment. That's how you grow, because you're not leveraging that money to pay down another property. You don't want to leverage that money to buy a car. You do not want to do that. You want to leverage that money, save that money in a certain account, create it. After you purchase that 3-family, even though it's a primary residence, put it under an LLC.
All right,
create an LLC, create a bank account for that one property. Don't mix it with your personal. Start that way. You start with that mindset. Now that's the growth mindset. Now you're going to grow from there. You're going to learn how to build that foundation and keep that structure, and then take it from there.
Interesting. See listen, the way Jonathan grew up and stuff like that, and the way he found himself in the mortgage industry. He found himself wanting to build value for people. And conversations like this is what people need in order to understand how to operate. This is value-added conversation right here. So if you're looking to become an investor and you're looking to get into the real estate game, this right here, this dialogue that's being generated, this information that's being shared, this information that people like yourself or people like myself can utilize to be able to take ourselves to the next level. And this is good information, because a lot of people think you can just get into real estate and everything's good and dandy.
Yep.
Not knowing that it's easy to fall flat on your face.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't understand that. That's why it's very important what you're saying right now, because if the numbers don't make sense, you definitely won't fall.
So it's about being raw right now.
Yeah.
We're in a market that it's an opportunity for a lot of people. When there's chaos, there's opportunity. Yeah. With the COVID, with all the stuff that's going around, it hasn't disappeared. They might have inflated it or moved it around, but it's still here.
Yeah, facts.
So we can't hide the blind eye on that. So we got to stay raw and be honest. What's going on?
Yeah.
How can I get into this industry? How can I grow? How can I purchase my first property and grow? And like I said, there was no mentors. Yeah. I just had to ask questions. And that's the only way you can learn. If you don't ask questions, you can't get answers.
True that. How can an investor, I think there's an important question. How can an investor leverage their equity in the properties they own?
This is a good one. This is a good one, but you gotta listen to this one.
All right, go ahead.
It's key. It goes back to what I said in the beginning. Find that right. That first property is your foundation. Yeah. That first property, you want to suck it out. Yeah. You want to create that. That property is your bank. You got to look at that property as your bank. Your second property is your bank. You can't be conservative and not maximize the equity in your first property or your second property, because that's the way you grow. Money. It's the big elephant in the room.
Green,
without,
baby.
Without that, money talks. Money talks, and we might get into a time in this market where if whoever has that money, is going to
who's
grow.
winning,
Yeah. And you got to connect yourself with people who are winning.
Yeah.
You want to connect yourself with private lenders, investors, mortgage professionals, people that are doing what you want to do. Don't connect yourself with somebody that does real estate, but doesn't own one investment property, or doesn't have the vision to own it, has no mindset of growth, but is selling you multiple investment properties.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
It's when it comes down where my passion, it's not about the commission check.
Yeah.
I don't care about the commission check, because if I treat you right, and I'm gonna come up with a situation that just possibly happened right now. If I treat you right, and you learn from me, and you grow from me, it's the word of mouth, and that's how you create a brand.
100%.
And that's how you create a strong brand. You don't want to always think about he's gonna go buy a $500,000 3-family, so I'm gonna get this X, Y, and Z, and I'm counting my commission check, and then I'm just gonna harass everybody, push through the inspections, push through that. Now, that's not growth. You're putting yourself on front. Put the client first.
Clients always first.
And then take it from there.
And I believe in that 100%. Whatever I do in the real estate game, you know what's crazy, because I spoke to somebody about this not too long ago in regards to, I guess their issue was that, clients always think that, us realtors, or whatever the case may be, we're all about the dollar. Don't get me wrong, there are a good majority of other realtors that's out there that's possibly about the dollar. But the true individuals that understand growth, that understand true success, and in order to get to success or to get growth, you cannot think about the money. I think the money is the last result. The money follows suit. Exactly. As long as you take care of what's in front of you first, and that's what's in front of you is basically your client. And I truly believe 100% that if I could provide the best service possible to my client, everything else will tackle along. So I totally get where you're coming from in terms of being able to provide an incentive where it's not about the dollar, but an incentive being able to accomplish a job that makes your clients happy.
Correct, yeah.
And that's what's really about.
So to get back to your question, and that's how you create the growth. Because if you buy that property, and say if you spend $300,000 on that property, and now, say we're in year 5, and the equity growed up to 500,000, you can now max out that property, take $100,000 out, purchase another investment property.
Nice.
So you go from that 4 to a 3, or from a 3 to a 2. You do the same thing. You sit there, you live there for a while, and then you go from a single family. Another great idea that a lot of people don't talk about is, say if you don't want to own a multiple family. I just heard a story. Now it's not in Rhode Island, but it's in Boston. It was a client of mine who purchased her first property in, say, 2011, condo. She lived there for 2 or 3 years, sold it. Guess what? She didn't pay no taxes. So whatever she sold it, she leveraged it again to purchase another property. There's no capital gains on primary residence.
I was just about to ask you. All right.
There's no capital gains. So what did she do? She bought another one. She bought another one, put the money down. She bought 4 properties in the last 10 years, right? Through those 10 years, she's now has $500,000 tax-free money that she made.
That's crazy. Now,
from a condo from 2009 to 2020. And now she's living where she wants to be with her comfort. The numbers make sense to her. She bought a bigger condo, and she's just going through it. And she didn't.
That's financial freedom to its best.
She didn't plan it.
Yeah.
She didn't know what she was doing. She just was like, you know what? I made a little bit of money. I got another baby girl, another property. But that's the growth. That's the growth mindset.
But she reached out to the right person to be able to
guide
her. That's and why talk? I don't know how much I can stress generational wealth, financial literacy. If you have the right team or the right individuals to actually guide you and support you, like, you can actually make the right moves and implement the proper situations where it puts you in the proper position.
Correct.
You know, it's crazy, and that's the type of story that I love to hear, where somebody didn't really have an inclination in regards to how they should go about, but they knew that they needed advice.
She knew what she was. She was just thinking about, all right, I'm gonna purchase a property.
Yeah.
That's all she was. But her realtor was like, all right, I think you should purchase this condo.
Yeah.
This is what the guidance. So she listened at first. It didn't take it to her second property where she was like, wait, I'm onto something here. I see what you guys been cooking up for me.
Yeah.
And it's growth. That's where you come down. As long as you work with like-minded people that have the same vision that you do, you're winning.
No, that's true. That's true. You guys hear it from my man Jonathan Depina from Total Mortgage. Very insightful information, value-added incentive. You can't go wrong. You guys know what it is, Jonathan. People want to reach out to you, talk to you, get to maybe like get some sound bites from you.
You could
whatever
do.
the case may be. Talk to the people.
You could contact me on Instagram, Facebook. My number is 401-692-7564. Text me. There's no days off, 24/7. Let's get it.
You know what it is? It's 365 days of work that we do in this real estate game. You guys know who I am. My name is Sadiq Davies. We're Experiences with Sadiq, where communication is key, advocating for the people's bliss, and knowledge
Is
that's
key.
inspiring.
Let's
Until
go.
next time, you guys know where to find me on Facebook or Instagram, Experiences with Sadiq. And if you're looking to buy or sell a home, you can also search for me on my Instagram page, which is Sadiq Davies, and my Facebook page, Sell with Sadiq. Until next time, talk to you guys soon.
Let's go.
Hey.